See, me and you both, we're trying to be cool, but we're both nerds at heart.
Yeah, not cool at all. Dude, what's up, man?
Not much, man. How are you?
Good. You want to go on a car ride and talk a little bit?
Yeah, hop in.
How about you coming here?
No, I've got the 3.
But I have the X. I have the wings. They go up.
Yeah, but mine's newer.
But I also have all the hero cams in here, so.
Okay. All right, cool.
Okay, we'll see you in a minute.
All right.
What's up, man?
What's up, brother? How are you?
Come on in.
Yeah.
Come on in. Somebody who I know is very familiar with the Teslas because you are the Tesla guy. You've become the Tesla person on YouTube.
I have, or I'm one of them. Having a lot of fun with that, but every time I get in this car, I'm always just crazy impressed with how advanced the tech is. So,
like the X versus the other ones?
dude, it's nuts. It's nuts. You don't have to open the doors or even touch them. Just every bit about this vehicle specifically blows me away.
So how many people have you referred to buy a Tesla?
As of right now, as of today, 88.
88, dude, that's perfect. Like 88 miles per hour.
Right, exactly. Going back
dude,
to the future, man.
that's insane, man, because you're helping people make a decision to buy not like an online course or a piece of software. I mean, this is this is a huge dollar amount that you're getting people to pay.
Yeah. I mean, the average has to be around 100 grand, which is nuts,
Yeah.
But it's a pretty high touch thing, and Tesla sell themselves. Like, I think people that buy using my code probably were already headed down this path, right?
So how do you become the person who convinces them to actually pull the trigger?
Well, I don't really do a lot of selling. I just kind of share information, and I think through that process, it solidifies a lot of people's understanding, and for some maybe the answer is no, but for many the answer is it's just even more yes than it was before. So it's one of those things where that's why Tesla doesn't have a marketing company or marketing team or anything.
Yeah, or you don't see any commercials.
Yeah, exactly. They don't do any advertising or any of that stuff because they don't need to.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So it's a cool relationship because it's not like I'm selling them something I made, and I'm not benefiting directly in terms of like getting a commission off of the sale. So it's kind of mutually beneficial where I do get some cool prizes, some really cool prizes. But at the same time, they're getting something out of it as well. So we're all coming out ahead in the end.
So how did you even start with this? So for those of you who are watching right now and you don't know, Ben, you can find him on his YouTube channel at Teslanomics, or as you say, Teslanomics.
I was gonna correct you, but I gave you a chance.
I know, we don't have to spend like the 20 minutes that we're gonna be here together arguing Tesla versus Tesla, but Elon says Tesla, right?
So does Franz.
I have to give you that.
Yep.
But you've become known as the Tesla guy on YouTube at Teslanomics, and what is it that you do on that YouTube channel specifically?
So I like to think of it as exploring the world of sustainable tech, and that kind of goes hand in hand with what Tesla does, right? They're trying to transition us to better forms of transportation and energy and all those kind of things. And when I started out, I was just making actually teaser videos for my online courses because I have all these online courses around data science. And I did one explaining about how much money I was saving in gas by having a Tesla, and it went nuts. And so then I started making more Tesla videos, bringing my background as a data scientist to kind of, explore and kind of uncover these insights, not from a superficial level, but kind of like a deeper analytical level. So
that's crazy. So you did a lot of videos about data.
Yep.
And then one of them about Tesla took off and you just kind of rolled with it.
Yeah. Well, I think that's my whole philosophy on really business is experimenting and looking at what the data shows. By the way, if you do the Tesla wave when you're not in Tesla.
There's a Tesla wave?
Yeah, I mean, you just did it. That's it.
Okay.
Just I do the 2 finger, like I'm a cool guy piece, but I'm not, I'm trying to be cool, but.
Wait, so have you done it? Like not in a Tesla to a person who's in.
Yes, and they just look at you really weird.
So I have let me go into autopilot really quick. I have a Tesla sign that I want to become popular. Maybe you can help with this movement.
All right.
But I want to go autopilot.
Okay.
And then do the Tesla sign like this, like a timeout. Okay. But it's the shape of the Tesla logo, right?
That's right.
So if I see a Tesla, I'm going to be like.
There you go.
And I show that to my wife, and she's like, why?
Right. See, me and you both, we're trying to be cool, but we're both nerds at heart.
Yeah, not cool at all.
But we have cool cars, so that's, helping a little bit. No, yeah, I was in my truck one time and I did that to somebody and they just looked at me like, what is this guy doing?
But we're starting to see them everywhere now, right?
Yeah. Just yesterday I parked. I was going to a coffee shop near my house, and another one, a black Model 3, exactly same car, pulled up and parked right in front of me. Like it's crazy that even in a market like ours, where yes, we're in California, but San Diego is much smaller than say LA or San Francisco, that there's that many of them floating around out there.
Well, I remember we were the first in my family to have an X in our neighborhood.
Yeah.
And so we got looks all the time. People hadn't ever seen this car before.
Right.
Now it's just, oh, there's another X.
Right, all the time. I think the wings on this one, the doors are specifically kind of attention-getting.
Yeah, kind of why I got them, but also because they are just like the DeLorean.
Yeah.
And so whatever
now,
I can get.
Can these open in your garage?
They can.
They can. Okay.
Yeah, they don't open all the way because they know not to open all the
Yeah.
way, but I have enough room in the garage for them to open for the kids to get in.
I have an older home with a small garage, and we had a Model X loaner for a little bit. No chance. Like, you couldn't even, my son, 2.5 years old, couldn't even crawl in there. So at that point, we were like, yeah, maybe we'll wait for the Model Y, and, they'll have regular doors probably.
So Model Y, I only just recently heard about it because it's your featured video currently on your channel.
Yeah.
I didn't even know why it was coming out.
Yeah, so that's the next priority for them is the Model Y, which is like the watered-down, cheaper version of this car, of the Model X. And so, yeah, I think hopefully, it'll have normal doors. It'll probably have less features. Probably similar interior with like an iPad style design.
So like the 3 to the S, this would be the Y to the X.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. It'll be cheaper, all those kind of things. And this is the largest and fastest growing segment of the U.S. auto market right now.
What is?
The crossover SUVs.
The crossovers, okay.
Yeah. So it makes total sense for Tesla to be going after this market. And so
I mean, they're just going to use the same body as the 3 or something, right?
They went back and forth on that, and then Elon came back to, his team convinced him to use the same platform. But then the big advancement is this thing called the Flex circuit, which would
sounds like the flux capacitor. That's
exactly
awesome.
Exactly. It's going to reduce the amount of wiring. So this car has around 3 kilometers of wiring in it, which is an insane amount. The 3 has 1.5 kilometers. This one is going to have 100 meters of wiring.
Oh, wow.
So like you're talking an insanely reduced amount of wiring, which reduces complexity, which makes it simpler to build, more profitable, etc.
So he'll only be a few months late with the delivery of that one.
Well, that's the big question, right? You don't have a factory to build it, so that's a problem. And also, this flex circuit wiring isn't exactly like an industry standard technology, so you may have some more challenges there.
Right. I mean, Elon makes up his own stuff along the way, so.
Yeah, he definitely, without him pushing, things to 11, we wouldn't get to 8, and right. So I think because of that, that's how we make progress.
So we could geek out about Tesla all day, but I want to talk about you and your brand and your business. I mean, what's working for you right now? I mean, you've got the YouTube channel.
Yeah.
How often are you posting a video?
I've actually upped it to about 5 days a week.
Why?
But I have a hack for you.
Okay.
And I'm nervous. I don't want, this is like my hack. I don't want to tell people about this.
You don't have to say it if you don't want to, but now everybody's going to want to.
Now they're going to want to know. All right, so here's my secret. And I think it goes back to what I was saying before, the idea of experimenting with things and looking at the data, and then when you show good signs, kind of, push on those a little further until you find like a rhythm. Mm-hmm. So the rhythm I've found, and I've been doing it for about 5 weeks now, is I do a live stream on Monday, and on the live stream I cover Tesla news stories. So those in themselves are very attractive to algorithms and SEO and all that kind of stuff, right? Because it's already popular in the news. Then that's maybe about an hour-long show. And so from there, I'll cover 3, 4, maybe 5 stories. I take the top 3 of those stories and I create highlights from that live stream. So just segments, 7 minutes, 10 minutes, depending on how long it is. And that goes into subsequent days.
So separate videos.
They're separate videos, but all it was is a portion of that live stream.
Interesting.
And at first I was nervous that my audience would kind of revolt. Like, oh my gosh, like I've already seen this, what's going on? And there are a few people that have commented on that. But the deal is that the way the YouTube algorithm works, only 20 to 30% of my subscribers even see my videos.
Yeah, same with me.
Right. So it's one of those things where publishing every single day, it's not like the same people are getting bombarded with your stuff. And then the other side of it is like, well, an hour-long video is a hard one to digest. So this way, you're kind of taking the most juicy bits of it and then, chopping it up and making it easier to digest for them.
I like that. I'm sure you're getting people who are watching all the way through who are becoming bigger fans of yours.
Sure. Yeah, and I did notice when I first started doing it where the same people were commenting on every video. So it was one of those things where it was like, oh wow, okay. I just assumed they wouldn't watch if they'd already seen it, but the like to dislike ratio is super good. So is the watch time and the suggested versus your subscriber base. So yeah, I mean I'm posting 5 days a week, but that's one live stream and then one produced video.
Because 5 days a week, I've also heard, if you're going to be on YouTube, is a great strategy to get kind of the maximum velocity, right? But I mean, that's overwhelming. I mean, even with a studio and we got Caleb in the back there, you can't see him. Can you wave, Caleb? Hey, there he is. It's still a struggle for us to kind of stay moving forward.
Well, and with your content, man, it is so like deep that each piece, it's not like mine is literally me talking about some news story for 5 minutes. Mm-hmm. That takes me very little time to prep or whatever. Each thing you post is like a strategy on how to do something that's super valuable and informative. So each piece, I'm sure, takes a lot of work and a lot of time.
Well, outlining, scripting.
Yeah.
I would love to get to a point where I could just see something on the news and be like, oh, well, there's my content idea.
Right.
And then now I just have to share my thoughts about it.
Right.
Which is kind of cool. And I'm sure I could add that in some way, shape, or form with different things that happen, changes in Facebook. And, I could fit it in. I just haven't been very active with doing that.
Yeah, it's one of those things that certainly I think your audience and me as someone that's listened to your podcast for a long time would love that, right? Like YouTube algorithm changes, great, let's hear about it, or how Facebook is changing things or whatever, all that kind of stuff. I think would be easy for you to make, and also people would love it. So you do my strategy is I do the live stream, chop it up. So I'm posting every day, even though I'm only recording one for one of those days.
I like that. Have you always been good on video?
I don't know. I think the video stuff and my comfort level with it goes back to my days in corporate America when I was doing a lot of presentations. Uh-huh. And that all came from following Nancy Duarte's presentation kind of strategy.
Yep.
Taking her training, getting comfortable speaking in front of people. So, I think that translates well to video. In some ways, it's easier because there's not like a person standing there that's going to throw a tomato at you or something, right?
Right.
Like what do you think? Because you do a lot of public speaking now.
I mean, I was terrified about it at first. Yeah. I would never have thought I would have ever put my face on camera, let alone get on stage.
Right.
But just little baby steps along the way has gotten me more and more comfortable. And I still get really nervous. Like I still, before we go and record a video like this, or before I go on stage, I still sometimes get really anxious.
Yeah.
Before backstage, I still am known to almost throw up. I dry heave a little bit, but I persist and I get through it anyway because I know once I get started, things are good and I'm good to go. But like for you on your channel, by the way, we just stopped and we're gonna hang out at this really cool place right here. You can't see it right now, but we're gonna get a little romantic. Not really, but you'll see in just a minute. That's for the watch time, so we'll stick around.
We'll do like a bromance, like a Peter McKinnon, Casey Neistat thing. Yeah. Did you see that where they're drinking a pina colada together?
Yeah. I love those guys. But for you on video, like, how have you felt with your comfort level with YouTube specifically? What has been the biggest help for you with that?
Yeah, when I first started vlogging, I had a lot of that nervousness. There's something very unnatural about walking around in public holding this giant camera pointed at your face, right? Mm-hmm. But as I started to do more of my own editing and I started to piece the things together and see the reaction online, I realized like even if I look weird and awkward out and about in public, the response that I get online is so kind of fulfilling. Mm-hmm. And it's so great to have that quick feedback loop, right? Like you record, a couple days later, you post it or, whatever. So I think just having an audience online that embraces you kind of refuels my bucket, of being comfortable doing this thing.
How would you recommend a person who's starting out who has yet to build that audience and does not have that immediate feedback because they don't have a large viewership yet?
Oh man, I would say in the beginning it's very easy to kind of over absorb the littlest bit of feedback you get, right? So like you get one dislike on a video and it's like, oh, the world is ending. Like, no, people don't like me.
It's true.
But it's like, really, that's just one. That, like, down the road, you'll be getting thousands of people that dislike your stuff and tens of thousands that like it. So it's one of those things, like, in the early days, I would say just focus on being true to your art. If that's sharing insights, from whatever superpower you have, or from some experience you're going through, and you just like a vlogger, focus on just making great content and being true to what you want to bring to the platform. And then from there, I would say, your audience will come. And as they start to come, engage with them. Really try to make it a human thing,
I know that's something you do very well. And as you've been experimenting with different kinds of videos for your channel, not everything is panned out or has done well, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. But let's do a quick change of scene. Cool? All right, so we were going to go to this romantic place, which was a pond. That was really cool, but it was just way too windy, so we're back at the studio.
You owe me that date.
We'll do it sometime.
Okay.
But no, I wanted to talk about your business model because your money isn't actually coming from the Tesla stuff. This is more of a sort of I don't know, what do you even call it? A side gig or a passion project? Or
it's fun.
Yeah.
That's mostly what it is. I've enjoyed some really cool experiences because of it. I've got some really cool prizes kind of in the works and stuff. Definitely the money is helping and growing. I look at YouTube and Teslanomics as like the future of what I want to be doing because it kind of marries my own passions and interests with something that is also financially sustainable. But yeah, currently it's small and growing, but it's not the most substantial part of my income.
Where is your income coming from?
Yeah, it's from these old online courses that I built back starting in 2013.
So you created online courses back in 2013 about what?
Data science.
And where are they?
They're on pluralsight.com and lynda.com or LinkedIn Learning. That's kind of the same thing now.
So not even on your own branded website or anything?
No. When I first started out, this was kind of a side hustle where I was making these online courses. I was still working full time for Mozilla, actually. And back then, it was just kind of fun. I was like, okay, I want to teach this thing. And, one course wasn't a huge amount of money coming in. It was a little bit, so it kind of started out as just like beer money. Right. And then a few more courses grew into, paying for my car, paying for my house. And now 26 online courses later, that is the most significant portion of my income is from these courses that I've made, starting back 5 years ago.
And they're still pulling income for you?
They're still doing great, yeah. I mean, every now and then you see a blip up or down, and that's the unfortunate part about building it on someone else's platform is that I don't have control over that. Like I can't do a launch or any branding or any marketing around a course because I don't necessarily own it. But at the same time, I, starting out, only had to focus on creating the content. I didn't have to focus on the whole, as you know, the whole entirety of like being an entrepreneur.
Right, the marketing and the branding.
So it was easier to get started, but the revenue, of course, wasn't really like the best opportunity. So
if you didn't have the Tesla stuff going on now, which I know is your focus, and it's the residual income that has allowed you to have the time to focus on this, what do you think you'd be doing?
I would probably still be making online courses for data science stuff. I'd probably still just be helping people learn how to advance in their careers or how certain companies can uncover, use the data that they have to better serve their customers or whatever. So
I'm sure you're getting a lot of enjoyment out of what you're doing with the Tesla stuff. What's been the most significant, coolest thing that has happened as a result of it?
Well, as we talked about, the referral program is really cool, and that has a metric in there, which is how many pounds of CO2 that we've saved as a community, Teslanomics community, by people switching over to electric vehicles. And that's now over 330,000 pounds of CO2 that have not entered the atmosphere as a result. And I mean, like financial, there's all these other metrics that like I probably should care about more. But to me, that one is probably the most meaningful.
Why is that the most meaningful to you?
Well, you know, it's funny when you look at all the things to really care about in the world and to get upset about. There's like always something that bugs somebody else. To me, this is like the one that trumps all of them, because it's like, look, if we have runaway greenhouse gas emissions and all this and global warming, that's it. Like game over. Nothing else matters anymore.
Yeah.
And so thinking about the future, you know, what I can do with a small little, you know, whatever I can do to really help that. And, you know, through Teslanomics and all this, I'm able to help people kind of find whatever motivation they needed to go electric. Then it's all worth it, you know. I mean,
That's cool.
Every little bit adds up, so it's really cool.
I mean, when I started my first business online, it was about helping people pass an exam in the architecture industry about sustainable design and environmental friendly buildings. And I felt the same way. Like it was like my small little thing that I was carving out to do good in this world, right? Because I was helping other people pass this exam so that they could build buildings that were sustainable. And I didn't have a metric like that. But that's cool that they actually keep track of that. I think it's really smart of them to do that.
Yeah, it totally helps with like the kind of social credibility or whatever. And they have like a really cool map and infographic that shows it. So each person that has a referral code, like you do because you're a Tesla owner, you know, you can go see where you know you're saving the CO2 and all that kind of stuff.
I've referred one person,
Yeah.
my buddy Dylan, and as a result, I got a prize. Right, your prize with doing so much volume is the new Tesla Roadster, which goes 0 to 60 in 1.9 seconds, which is insane.
Or faster.
Or faster.
Yeah.
Mine is a tour of the factory, the Gigafactory, which I haven't redeemed yet.
Okay.
But I really want to go. Have you gone?
I've not been to the Gigafactory. I went to a VIP tour of the Fremont factory.
Oh, cool.
But not the Gigafactory yet.
And then you've been to a lot of live events and such. I mean, you're always, you know, going to be going to those things because you're keeping track of what's in the news and such.
Yeah.
I mean, those are just in terms of a business model. I mean, when you think about the car industry and automobiles, I mean, Tesla is like, and Elon is like Steve Jobs in that way, where it's a big celebration every time a new thing comes out. And you were there when the trucks, the semis.
We all thought that was going to be the most boring event. We're like, really? I don't know, semi-trucks, whatever. And then Elon had that tweet that was something like, you know, it's going to be so awesome, it's going to blow your mind into another dimension or something. And we were all like, I don't know. So all these rumors about what could be unveiled, like, because there had to be something more than the semi-trucks. And yeah, that's when the Roadster got unveiled, mega chargers, the pickup truck was like hinted at, and there was a sketch. It looked weird. But yeah, all of these things were unveiled, and it did blow all of our minds.
Yeah, that's cool. And you're always keeping up on the news, like you said. That's how you do your live streams and such.
Yeah.
There was one thing you did recently related to a news thing that happened where Elon was featured in an interview, an exclusive interview, where you got into the Model 3 factory and to see kind of how it was running. And Elon was very honest about like how things were going. He was stressed. He said he was sleeping at the office a lot and at the factory. And you did something related to that I thought was really interesting and really cool. Can you share with everybody what that was?
Yeah. So as a billionaire, I thought there's no way he's actually sleeping there. No way. And as soon as I heard about the interview, I'm like, all right, I want to see where he's sleeping. And they showed that, and it was crazy because it's like the worst, tiniest little couch. And
with a pillow, and that's it.
With a pillow, yeah. And then you see a sleeping bag kind of on the table. And you're like, first off, you're sleeping like in a conference room with glass walls. People probably walking by, like, is that really him? What's going on? So I just thought, hey, Elon's done so much for us Tesla owners and everything that we should do something for him and buy him a new couch. So I created a GoFundMe. And in the first day, we've got about $4,000.
It's insane. But more than that, you've gotten now media outlets reaching out to you.
Yeah. I mean, I've got NBC in the Bay Area reached out, Business Insider, to USA Today, CNN,
what
International. They just want a quote. They just want to know why I did it, what the idea is. And yeah, I mean, it was just kind of a fun idea. There wasn't really like, I didn't think anybody would actually donate. I thought, he's a billionaire. Like people would just kind of laugh it off.
It's kind of funny.
Yeah, but it took off. And now it's like trending on GoFundMe out of nowhere. It's probably the only thing I've ever done that's truly trending. It's like, of course, like the dumbest little idea.
Well, we'll see where it ends up, because how many days are you into it now? Just a couple days?
Yeah, just a couple days now.
It'll probably be up there for like 30 days or something. So we'll see. I mean, Elon could be getting a $50,000 couch.
Which would be great to even figure out what that is.
Yeah, I mean, does it have like autopilot or like
Right.
Falcon wing doors or something? I have no idea. But dude, this has been a lot of fun. Any final words of advice for those who are out there watching this content right now and they're just looking for a dose of inspiration, and you know, you've done multiple things to build a name for yourself, build an audience, generate an income. What might you suggest for people who are just starting out?
Yeah, I would say the biggest thing is just to kind of be true to your art and into what you want to bring to the online community, whether that's on YouTube or Facebook or a podcast or whatever. Really kind of just be true to that. It's very easy when you're just getting started to try to kind of chase different avenues of making money, and that can really destroy the credibility and the authenticity. And I feel like we're in the era now where the clickbait world is kind of past us. The old sensational shock jock kind of media is kind of going away. We're in the era of engagement and authenticity. And so kind of like your journey, just started out, you know, you weren't an expert at this when you first started.
Not even close.
Yeah. So staying true to whatever it is that you think is your superpower and what you're bringing to the community. And then, yeah, you know, as things come up, experiment with ideas, because you never know. Like, you know, you could have a YouTube channel based on Tesla one day. So,
yeah. Dude, thank you for being here. Make sure to check out all the links below. Teslanomics on YouTube. Anywhere else people should go to find you?
That's it. Yeah.
Click on the link below. Man, thank you so much. I appreciate it, and hope you enjoyed this.